Hey, welcome to this new format that I'm trying out called Real People, Real Solutions. Today we're going to take a look at some Kickstarter data. I've already loaded it in. This was downloaded off of kaggle.com, so that's a great place to go get data sets. You got the ID number, name, category, main category, currency, deadline, goal, launched. Going over here some more. Pledged, state, backers, country, USD, pledged, how much was real, and then the goal. Now, one thing I'm going to point out is this is the symbol for geography and state, and as you look down, you can see that it's not really a U.S. state. It's state of the Kickstarter campaign. So we're going to come up here. Under geographical role, we're going to click None, and that will convert now to what we expect. So let's go to sheet 1. This takes a little while. So I think we're going to try and do the first thing is look at category. Put that on rows. And what we'd like to see, or what I'd like to see, is which are the most successful. And in order to do that, I'm just going to have to create a calculated field. It's going to call the success counter. What it's basically doing is saying if the state is successful, then what we'll do is we'll assign a value of 1, else we're just going to give it a null value. And then what we're going to do is then we're going to create another one called percent, and it's going to call success percentage. And this is going to say we're going to take the sum of the success counter, and then we're going to divide it by the sum of the total number of records. Okay? And so if there's, and we'll show you here in just a second how that looks. Not looking like I expected. Let's see the success counter. Okay, so that is not looking like I expected either. Oh. And so now the fun begins, trying to figure out what it is. Number of records. Let's make sure that that's showing up correctly. So we got the right number of records. So bring the state over here to the columns. Let's see what its success. Let's see here, maybe it's capital. Let's see, apply. Okay, so it has to be that exact value, capitals and everything. So we can get rid of this. You can see that this is all zeros and ones, so we come over here to the number format. Default properties, number format for success percentage. And 1 decimal, that should be more than enough. Okay. So now what I'd like to do is, now I'm going to sort it to find out which is the most successful. Sort, come up here, we're going to go in descending, based off the success percentage. Custom is okay. Okay. And we'll call this category success. Now, what we'd like to do, I'm going to duplicate this. And now I want to pull in the category as well. And, oops, I already had the category. Main category. And so I want to sort the main category descending success percentage. Okay, so let's just see how this looks. So this is what we it's not, to be honest, that's not what I expected at all, but we've got trying to get this thing, there we go, a little wider. It's descending by percentage, and to be honest, I'm surprised the dance is that high. And then we bring in the category, and what we want is we want it to be, so we still have that sorting. Now we want this sorted by percentage as well. So within each category, each subcategory. Oops, I got too fast. Okay. Now let's create a dashboard. Now, I don't know if you've used these layouts before, but I always start with a vertical. That allows me to put a text up on the top. Kickstarter campaign success rate by category. And what these layouts allow you to do is allow you to, make sure everything is lined up real well. So you can see there's two, I can't remember, layout containers, one up here and then one down here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to want to put these categories side by side. So I'm going to move the horizontal into this position. You can see you can move it different places. You can move it above or below. I'm going to stick it right there. And now you're going to have be able to put these side by side. Although, let me rename this one. That's category success. This is main category. So now I'm going to move the main category over. That's going to take up that whole bucket. Now here's where it gets exciting. Category, exciting is a relative word. Okay, so you can see it's moving to different places. It's telling you your different categories, or you can make it on the top where you have all your layout containers to the right. You can wedge it in here as part of the vertical container. You can mark it on either side of this horizontal container. I'm just going to stick it right there for now. Now let me show you this layout, and if you look over here, you have a vertical container, and inside that vertical container is the Kickstarter. Also, we have a horizontal container which has two components in there. Okay, so I'm going to give that a little bit more space. We're going to close that out, and now we've got it to fill up. And we can just shrink this up, and now we've got more space. Now what I'd like to do is I'm going to hide both of those titles. And what I'd like to do is do something a little bit, we're going to get rid of the category. Okay. And now I am going to add a dashboard action. We're going to filter. It's going to be used to filter. We want the main category. We're going to just call this main category filter. When we click on the main category, we want this category success to be adjusted. And we're going to do exclude all values. What that's going to do is once you unselect an item, it's going to hide everything. You want to make sure you hit select. That's always tricky. I don't know why they have it on menu, but select is what you're going to want here. All values, and then we're going to hit OK. Hit OK. And now look what happens. Now it's just the items for dance that show up. These are the items for art. It's pretty cool. Items for publishing. So now the next question you might have, or what I have, is on dance, what items are getting selected? What's in that residency? So we'll create another category. This time we're going to bring over the name. For the rows, we're going to add all members. And it takes in a second here, but this is going to list us all the names. There we go. And so then, go back to our dashboard. I'm going to call this project names. Go back to the dashboard, bring over our project names. We want it to get lined up. So you can see this is in one of our horizontal buckets. We're putting it, they're different worksheets are being placed horizontally. So we're going to place that there. And what you're going to see is, because we don't have, it's going to take on the default or the last dashboard action. So when we unhide it or unselect, everything should hide. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, that's okay. There you go. Everything's hidden. We're going to get rid of the project names. Film. Well, what you'll see here is a couple things. One is this is all the projects for all the film and video. We don't necessarily want that. We want it just to be able to select for just the shorts or the documentaries or the music videos. So we'll go back up to the dashboard, actions. We're going to come here. We're going to have to edit this first. You can see that it got picked up by the default, or the last one there, so we're going to unselect that. And then we're going to basically just add an action. We're going to add another filter. This time we want to filter on just the category. Make sure you hit select. It's the field's name is category, but I call it subcategory. And then we're going to filter on just the project names. And once again, we're going to do the excludes all when it's unselected. That'll make it hide. It's going to take a second to crank through this. Now, and then once it has cranked through, we'll have to go back through and just test it or get it to reset by hiding everything. Okay, so there you go. It's spaces. Okay. Now, so this is the success rates. This is everything is showing. There's a couple other things about this. We'll get to here. I'm going to try and pull this over because we still have some extra space. And I'm going to go to the project names. I'm going to try and get this to, let's see here. I want to pull that over so that it's hidden. Maybe you see it's hidden. Oh, so I'm going to have to shrink this one. Shrink this cell. Okay. There you go. That's interesting. But we still have a lot of space that we could be using down here. So I'm going to do this rather quickly. I did this on another blog or tutorial video. We're going to bring in over the goal as the dollars. We're going to bring over the deadline. So this is going to give us an idea of dollars by, let's see here, we're going to do bars. I'm going to actually move that to the rows. So now we have the number of dollars that were requested by year. So I'm going to get rid of some of these first ones just because it didn't look like there was a lot going on, and I'm going to get rid of 2018 because that doesn't look like a full year. So we'll get rid of those. That looks a little bit better. And we've got US dollars goal. We're going to change that. I'm going to try and change that to millions. Or, yeah, we're going to try to change this to millions. 1 decimal place. Or no decimal places. Okay. And then we're going to also move that over to the top of the labels. So you have a good idea. Now what would be really cool is being able to show how much is in what state. So we're going to pull that over again. We're going to create now we're going to bring the chart, the state, we're going to bring that under the color. So you're going to see that broken out. We don't want that on the labels. And now we're going to merge them together using dual axis. You can see there's a little overlap here. That's because they're not synchronized. So we're going to synchronize the axis. And then we're going to hide this one because we don't need 2 of them. Let's see, what do we call this? Dollars by year. Okay. We've got our tooltips for the goal and the state and the year. So now, I don't think we really need that deadline up there. That's pretty clear. And what we could also do here is we can edit this, change the time. Where is it? Oh, here we go. So, dollars requested. Okay. Dollars requested. Now we're going to come back to the dashboard. All right. So what we want to do is we want to stick it under the bottom here. So if you'll look, we can either put it as another horizontal, which would not look good, or we can put it down as a vertical. So what you've got here is you've got one vertical section up here, or one layout vertical container. You have one horizontal container that goes all this way, and then you have another vertical container here. Now you'll notice that the legend was automatically placed in a separate vertical container. So that's cutting off a lot of real estate here. Now, one option is to move it to float, and I'll show you what happens when you do that. But then you got to find a place to put it. Yeah, that doesn't work really well. So we're going to move this back to take it off of float. It's going to go to the container. Let's see here. We're just going to go back. All right. What we're going to do actually is we're going to get rid of this. And we're going to put in another horizontal container. What that allows us to do is that will allow us to move the legend down to this horizontal container. And then they'll be able to be side by side. We'll just make it smaller. We'll get rid of that. And maybe we'll just make this a little wider. So now we select on dance, and so these are all these are the dollars by dance for these years. We select residency. That's even how much it filtered it again. But these are still all the projects. Now, what would be cool, is to see which of these projects were actually successful. So let's come under project names. And we're going to move state onto color. Well, here's the boxes. We don't really want boxes, the color here. We want the text to be colored. So what we need to do is we're going to move the name to be part of the label. All right, so now it's all shrunk. Maybe that's too wide, but all right. And so that's kind of what we want to see. The problem is that these little icons here, these three dots, indicate that there's additional data. So we're not going to be able to see that because it's all kind of been merged together under text. The way to get around that is to bring over the ID number. We're going to put that on the columns. And we want to show all the members. And so now what we can do is we just shrink this up, or even better yet, we'll just come up here and we're going to hide that. And so now all you see is those colored titles, right? There you go. Here's the colored titles. Now, to be honest, I'd like to change those colored titles. So let's oh, wait a minute. This has all disappeared. What's happened? Well, remember when we put it onto the dashboard, it inherits the actions of the filters already there. So let's go back here. We want to take off dollars by season. We don't want that to be excluded if nothing's selected. And then if we come to here, same thing is happening. So it should show up here in just a second. Sometimes it's computing the layout. It takes a little longer than we'd like. And there we go. Now, let's actually, because some of these colors, I'd like to change the colors to be perfectly honest. We're going to change, let's see, where are we at here? So we need to go to the one that actually has the legend, the states. So for failed, I want to make that red. For live, we're actually, I'm going to filter that out because that's the only time that's going to be live is 2018. And we've already filtered that out. Success, I'm going to make that green. Suspended, orange, I guess. Live, we'll make that gray. I don't know, make that orange. Undefined, it'll be brown. And we'll make this yellow. Okay. And now I maybe want the success on the top. So you got the success. You can easily change the order there. I'm going to bring the state over here, and I'm going to get rid of live so that it wouldn't show up because under the bars because we got rid of the 2018, but it would still show up under the legend, and that could get kind of confusing. So now when we go back to the dashboard, it recalculates. And now you can oh, it's not hiding. Go back to dashboard actions. Maybe I picked the wrong one. Oh, I did. We want it to be category success. We want it to be project names. You gotta be careful what you're selecting. Okay, so now this is more of what we were expecting to see. So now we're looking at dance. Overall 62% success. Here's the other thing. I mean, as you're sliding over here, the tooltips are popping up. Let's go and get rid of those. So click on tooltips. We don't want to show any tooltips because we're not going to really show any more information. You could, if you had other things you wanted to put on there, you could actually project names. Let's actually show what the goal was. And so when we come here, we're going to show insert project goal. And then we'll also put down here's a little something. if you put, rather than space, if you tab, this will ensure that that the tooltips are lined up. Of course, we've got it all filtered, so you won't be able to see that now, but as you come over here, you see that they're lined up. Alright, so here is something that I talked about in a previous episode or video. You see these are all dollars in millions and nothing's really showing up. That's because we've got this goal is in the goal is in millions. So on this sheet here, let's go under here, we can format just the sheet. Under the pane and default, we're going to do currency. We're going to change this to thousands. 31,000. Okay, so now we've got thousands. That's a better number. The other thing that I've seen that people like to do is changing the color of the text so that you really are focusing on the key element. It's a little lighter, so you look at, oh, 6K, and it was successful. Alright, so now we've got a dashboard that's really starting to come together. And so now we can start having an idea for what years were better, and have a lot of start digging into some. One thing I didn't do, and I'll do this real quick because I think it's kind of cool, is we're going to take the percentage, success percentage, and we're going to move it to, well, let's change it so we can see everything, or at least see something. So we're going to go to main category, and we're going to bring over the success percentage. We're going to actually move the size bigger, and then we're going to bring success percentage under percentage, and we're going to change this to square. And that is how you get some coloring. Right? And if you want to do we could do the same thing over here. Maybe here we'll just put the success percentage under coloring and square. There you go. So now you can quickly see the darker it is, the more interesting it is. So let's see with this one. Let's see fit. We're going to fit the entire view. Nope, don't want to do that. We want to fit the entire height. So it's a little bit, so now you don't have the scroll bars on there. And I find this is very interesting to look at, see which items are, and how things are doing. Quickly see breadth was successful, only $1,000, $1,000, $3,000. I don't know, just very interesting. So there you go. Hope this gives you a good start to looking at your data. Be sure to leave a comment and let me know how you like this format. And until next time.